Hey Bruno, hey Jon, how are you?
Doing
I'm
fine.
fine. Is it you, Dimitris? Nice to hear you.
Nice to hear you too, guys.
Yeah, thanks for
So
having us.
I will start with a kind of obvious question. Both of you are in Lone Wanderer, and I cannot even try to compare the style between Lone Wanderer and Kerrigan. So what's happened? What happened there?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it was something we never really thought about. We were just rehearsing, just same good old regular band rehearsal with Lone Wanderer, and I think at one point, I don't know, maybe it was Jonas or me, I don't even remember. We had this one little riff that we jammed on in between the Funeral Doom songs, and it was fast and heavy metal because we both like a lot of the 80s heavy metal bands, and then it just kind of went on from there. So we just started on a simple riff and then took it somewhere. And I think a couple of weeks later, is that right? We wanted to do a, a first songwriting session, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was some weeks or maybe even months. I think it was right. I think 2 weeks before I left Freiburg, and we said we had to do at least one session, and then it worked out perfectly. Um, but I think that we annoyed our bandmates Jakob and Simon quite for some time with that riff between the Lone Wanderer songs.
So it's for you guys, it's something that funeral doom is doom, right? Is it's kind of I'm trying to find a word and not to find that, not to sound like I don't like funeral doom. I do like it, but it's for specific. You have to be in a specific mood. You cannot listen to that. So, how do you make the suites, even songwriting wise? How do you make your suites to write these basically new way of British heavy metal, right? Inspired.
I think that's quite a natural thing to do because we're not depressed all day. So whenever
Well,
we are depressed, we can write some funeral doom material. But I think there's lots of different styles that are, yeah, made for different emotions. So whenever we feel
mhm.
triumphant or heroic, or we just want some good old rock and roll, we write these heavy metal songs, I think. So it's just more a richer experience like that. So you write whatever you feel like, and when it's more down and more depressed, maybe you tend to write some doom material, and yeah, when you're more uplifting, then it's heavy metal. For
What
me, at
about you,
least.
Jonas? Your vocals
Mm.
are way different than Mandil Fari. Did I
Yeah,
put
yeah,
the name?
yeah. Mundilfari.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it differs quite a little bit, and
A little
I
bit.
think, yeah. To be honest, I don't think that I could do the Mundilfari vocals anymore. I tried some months ago, and I was quite disappointed that I don't have the technique anymore because I'm used to the clean singing now, and I'm afraid that I would kill my voice if I started to with those black metal vocals again. But yeah, when it comes to styles, I have to how do you say it? The way Bruno put it was the thing that I would say as well. You aren't always depressed, so it's not possible to write funeral doom or black metal songs all the time. But I have to be honest, because the last 2-3 years had a depressive tendency, let's put it that way, during Corona.
I don't blame
Uh,
you.
yeah, yet we both of us wrote a lot of heavy metal stuff. I think that during 2 years I only wrote heavy metal songs. There wasn't
Yeah,
any black metal riff coming
yeah.
to my mind.
I
So
think, yeah,
sometimes.
that's also a little bit of the story of Kerrigan. It's a story of the isolation and lockdown time, because that was just the time when we started out, and there were these heavy lockdowns in Germany. So what can you do besides sitting in one room and jamming on some riffs and writing stuff? And I think the more uplifting style maybe also was like a cry for liberation, you know, to have some freedom at least in the music.
You use metal as everybody's using. When we are listening to this music, we try to have, I don't know, to match our emotions, right? So when we didn't have the chance to play live or to go out, metal and twin riff music is the best way to go. How did you choose the band name? I think it's Scottish, no, Gaelic, no.
Maybe
The name.
we didn't look it up in that way. Actually, the band name was just somebody, I don't even remember who it was, just threw out or put it in the room and said Kerrigan. How would you call the project? Kerrigan. And yeah, I think a lot of guys know that Kerrigan comes from StarCraft, the video game, and both of us are into StarCraft or were a lot into StarCraft at some point of our life. Some of us still are, and yeah, so it was a name that really sounds nice. So maybe it was in our minds at some point, and at some point it just stuck with the band, and it lost the StarCraft meaning in a way. So it's just the name.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, the name is the name, but it's like so many things started out with just a funny idea, and then we just kind of kept it because it's so hard to come up with a new band name, Iron this or Metal that. It's so hard to find any new heavy metal band name that hasn't been done 10 times. So there was no band called like that, and we liked it, and we just took it, and then that's it.
I want to say that in full disclosure, I have no idea what StarCraft is.
Oh,
but that's okay.
It's a 90s video game, yeah, PC game.
Still, anyhow,
try it.
I will. So did you have Bloodmoon ready before you signed with High Roller Records? Because you had released the demo before that.
Yeah, I think pretty much. Like we had the demo release, and then we were talking to a few labels, and High Roller Records was one of them. And I think when we signed with them, we had, I think, all of the songs written. Maybe some details weren't there yet, but we had lots of songwriting done in 2020, 21. So I think most of the album was already written, yes.
And how did you approach your songwriting? Was, again, as you said, did you start always from a riff, or was it something else?
I think the ideas just got to us, to be honest. The songwriting approach for us is that we just start playing. Sometimes it's just me starting with an idea, or Bruno, and we either come write the whole thing, or we share the riff digitally, and sometimes the other member comes up with another idea, and then we start combining. But the best way would be just meeting for us, because that's what we did last week. We met for a songwriting session, and then we had a new song. I think after how many hours were did we?
6 hours or so.
Yeah.
I think for you it's good to know that or for anyone listening, good to know that me and Jonas, we live apart maybe 2 hours by now. So what he said in the beginning, he left Freiburg, the city where we are still based, and moved to another city. So there is quite a lot of distance, and that means that we have to improvise with the songwriting, and that's why we sometimes share the stuff digitally and maybe even jam on it digitally. So one of us uploads a riff, the next one does maybe a harmony or something, or a vocal line, and then it goes back and forth. And then when we finally meet up in real life, we can finish the song. That's what we did last week.
So for the time being, the band is just the two of you, because for making Bloodmoon, you had Jonathan Dorin playing the drums, correct?
Jonathan joined the production of the album in a quite late stage, because Bruno and I wrote all the songs, and I think we all had already recorded all of the songs, at least the guitars and the vocals, I think so. And we got to the point where High Roller Records asked us if we wanted to record real drums, because on our demo we just had the digital drums, so that it would add not just a little more, a lot more old school feel to it. And so I had my good friend and Mundilfari drummer, a drummer of the black metal project, and he was into it, and he did a perfect job playing it in the studio at Iguana Studios.
Who did the production?
Iguana Studios, Christoph Brandes.
Okay, because I think I have him, Christoph. I have him listed as the person who did the mixing. I didn't know that he also did the production, everything.
Yeah, I mean
the drum production.
Oh,
and
okay.
The mixing,
yeah.
Okay.
We did the drums at the studio, and the rest is still good old Kerrigan fashion. We did it in my living room. Most of the takes are sung in the living room or in the rehearsal room. So it was quite a lot of work to make it so that it fits together. Maybe you know this, if you do a vocal take in one room and then you wait 2 weeks and then you do another song in a completely other environment. I think one was even done in your office, Jonas. One of the songs,
not just one, I think
one or two.
yeah.
So quite a lot of different recording stages, but in the end it all went together in Iguana Studios for the mixing and the drum production.
So instead of saying office and living room, you should both say I did it in my home studio. It sounds more
it sounds more professional, but I think it is a nice touch that not everything we do is completely professional, and it's a little bit more do it yourself the way we approach the albums.
Just by looking at the song list and seeing that you have 2 songs that are 7 minutes long, I want to ask, did those songs came later? I mean, you started with the faster ones, the more, let's say, easy ones, and then as you kept writing, your songwriting evolved?
No, not really. I think Jonas Mesmerizer was one of the songs that Jonas wrote for most of the stuff, at least, and I think that was really early. I think that was one of the earliest ones we had. So I think it was a mix. The other long song, Against the West Wind, was quite late. That's true, but I don't think. Also, I don't think it has to do with our progress in songwriting. I think longer songs don't have to be better or worse.
Oh no, I wasn't saying that. I was, when you start writing, I presume, right? When you start writing music and you start liking what you write, then you may complicate your own songwriting or add stuff or keep adding. That's
true.
Talking about Mesmerizer, actually, that it's true for that song, because we had the main riffs and almost every part of the song very early, and we even started with the vocal records for Mesmerizer, I think. But the end part was one of those things that we wrote quite late. And I remember recording the solo of the last solo of Mesmerizer as one of the last things. I don't know what to add.
I remember at one point, I think we had a look, or we took a step back and looked at all of the songs that we finished already, and I think there was a moment where we thought, what would be missing from the album, and I think even that was one of the shorter songs was added in the end. So to give it a more balanced album, because I'm not a big fan of albums that have these many 7-minute songs one after another. I think a good variation is important.
Yeah, especially on vinyl, it works, to have some songs, half of the songs in side A and the other half on side B. And you mentioned that you worked on a new song. So is this for the next Kerrigan album?
Yes, so we can say that we have a lot of material to look through. But the thing that we wrote last week is definitely a song for the next album. And yeah, like I said, during those Corona years, we had a lot of time sitting around with the guitar, and there wasn't that much to do, so we have a lot to go through.
Okay. Are you considering at all re-recording the songs from Heavy Metal 2020? Just because, as you said, you had drama scene, and now you have.
No, I don't think so.
That was fast. That was fast.
It's just, I mean, it would be an idea, but then again, we had so many new songs already on the album. We didn't even repeat one of the songs for the album because we simply had too much material. And now we are already starting with new stuff, and we have all these old riffs that want to become a song at some point. So I don't think we will, at least at the moment, we won't go back and re-record the old songs. But maybe, who knows? Maybe on a stage at some point that would be a way to experience these older songs.
If there were, since you have a contract with High Roller, you can have a nice special edition vinyl. That's what I was thinking. Go ahead, Jonas.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that, yeah, I mean, the way we recorded Heavy Metal 2020 was the absolute do-it-yourself thing. So it would change the spirit, so to say, of the demo a lot if we re-recorded it with real drums, even though I know real drums are the best, and you have to get you need to get used to the digital stuff if you really hear it. If you know it that it's not real, I know that it's annoying, but yeah, that's how it is.
It's
Yeah,
a demo, so
yeah,
I
it's
think,
demo. But
yeah.
That's
but when
okay.
it comes to heavy metal, maybe 2030, heavy metal 2030.
That's the date. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
that would be the date for a re-recording.
save the date, the 3rd of March.
No announcements.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I have already made a Zoom call for 2020
Okay,
to discuss
great.
about this.
Yeah, perfect.
What are your thoughts, guys, for playing live with Kerrigan?
Yeah, we're working on it. I think that's as much as we can say. We released one teaser photo. We are trying out our first full lineup at the moment, and if it works well, I think that we should be a live band in the future.
So are we talking about using session musicians?
Depends a little bit. I think the songwriting core will always be the two of us, simply because that's the way it started. But there's nothing that speaks against a talented drummer like Jonathan or our future bassist. If they bring ideas, I think there's nothing that speaks against it. So I think at one point it hopefully will be an official band, and there is no separation of live musicians and core members. I don't know. What do you think, Jonas? We should discuss this at one point.
Yeah.
Go ahead, guys. Go ahead. Pretend that
We
I'm
have
not
to,
here.
we have to discuss it publicly now. Shit. No, but I think so too. It started with just the two of us, and maybe at one point we can say, hey, those guys stuck with us for so long. There's no way around calling it a normal band, so to say. But yeah, for now we have to start as a to call it session. I think, even though it sucks, if you're on a at a gig, standing on the stage together, you don't distinguish between session and core. But yeah, we will see. Maybe if they add something to songwriting, we can't do anything about it to call it the band at some point. Yeah, we will see.
So are we talking about 4-piece, or are you gonna sing and play the guitar?
I try singing and playing the guitar. Yeah, it works. It works, even though I have to put a little effort in it and a lot of energy in it to get it to the point where I would say, okay, it's nice that the guy who sang on the records is also singing live. The problem is that I like playing the guitar so much that I don't want to give it away. It would hurt seeing another guy play.
We thought about this a lot. We even thought
Yeah.
about I don't know. In the beginning, we had lots of trouble finding a bass player, and I was even volunteering to play the bass if it was easier to find a guitar player. So initially we were quite open to the idea of switching stuff around, but I think now we want to do it the way it is on our main instrument. So Jonas should sing and play the guitar, and I play the guitar only, and then we have a bassist who does the bass parts that I wrote on the record.
So 4-piece. That's
Yeah,
right.
4-piece. Yeah, that's
Good.
the answer.
Good. Okay, for Lone Wanderer, is there any activity there? Are you thinking about the third record? What's happening?
Yeah. Of course, thinking about the third record, we are still rehearsing, maybe looking to play a live show because we have the 10-year anniversary next year coming up. So I think that would be a great opportunity for at least some shows. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a release. Can't spoil or anything here, but definitely working on new stuff.
What about, Jonas, you said something about Muntilfari, and you said that you don't want to go back to black metal singing. However, what's the activity there?
Yeah, sometimes I'm thinking about getting some place to rehearse again with Jonathan, because we live almost in the same place. It's not 2 hours apart from each other, but just 20 minutes. So it would be cool start jamming around again, and maybe at some point I will find that black metal voice again. But I'm really not too sure about the technique. We will see. But I got some riffs, but yeah, we will see if that's enough stuff for a new record.
Well, you know what you can do, guys, right? You can have a 3-band festival. That will be easy.
Yeah, we're talking about that sometimes. It would be always the same guy standing on stage.
Just saying, what you're doing. Last question, and kind of important. You are both from Freiburg, right? Freiburg, right?
You mean initially, or we're both not born there or anything? We moved there for university.
Let me cut to the chase, because are you supporters of Freiburg, the football team?
The soccer team? No, I'm not into soccer.
Football team.
I'm into soccer, so I'm not into SC Freiburg.
Okay, good then.
VfB Stuttgart, that's my team, and we are better than Freiburg right now. So
are you playing in the Europa League or not?
It's quite some time ago.
So how can you be better then?
Yeah, we used to play 1-1 against FC Barcelona. So
okay, that's fair enough. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Can I wish for Kerrigan to come to Chicago to play live?
Sure. If you invite us, we will come there and play.
Get us a gig and get us a place to sleep. Great.
Oh, you can do it in my house, man. I'm happy to have you guys.
Okay, it's done. Sure. Nice.
And hope to hear. I presume that the next album will not be released in the next year, at least.
I don't know. Hard to say. Yeah, depends. I don't know. Maybe if we are quick. If the magic happens, maybe. Who knows?
Let it happen.
It will. It will. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and I hope to hear from you again, or even see you like that.
Yeah. Thanks, Dimitris.
Thanks
for having us again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.